So my name is Willy Big Bull. My friends and family call me Will, or my dad calls me Bubba. I call my little boy Bubba too. I was born in Wenatchee, Washington, down in the Okanagan Valley. My dad's First Nations. He's from Piikani Nation, also known as Brockett, part of the Blackfoot Confederacy. And my mother is from, like I said, Wenatchee, Washington. She's non-native. I've got some brothers and sisters. I've got 2 older and 2 younger, so I grew up a middle child. My dues are due. I got into the construction. I was kind of groomed for it by my old man. Since I was a kid, he taught me how to do hard work, use my shoulders. And then, I've always loved music though. So it was kind of always lingering around in the background. It was kind of one of those things that I don't think I've ever pursued it as a job. I don't really ever want it to be a job, even though that is kind of the direction that I'm heading in right now. I'm planning to try and do it on my own terms and do it my own way. Where I moved to isn't exactly the music center of the world in Lethbridge, but it's kind of a nice little sweet spot in the southern Alberta range, so I could play all the little folk clubs and the little bars and stuff like that. I dreamt about you again. We call it a winter count in our tribe. Winter count was pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Native people sitting out there counting winters. And then they would tell stories during the winter. And they would usually reflect, just like you do at New Year's Eve. Now people go on Snapchat or Instagram and show their last year. Our people would do the same thing. And they would sit there and they would sit amongst their family and their tribe and their people, and they would reflect on all the things they did in the last year. Somewhere along the way, somebody started trying to mark that kind of stuff down. You see it in places like writing on stone, but the majority of it was oral history. Every First Nations person, every person living has their own winter count. You've got your own story. The story of First Nations people is still unwritten. It hasn't been fulfilled. There's not an end or a beginning. The story of humanity, of our people, is still ongoing. We've got to figure out a way to coincide. It seems like somehow we're on different paths though. When it comes to music, that's where I can not voice those frustrations. For me, honestly, music's where I could kind of come outside of that. Music's where I could tap into what's beautiful. I could tap into love, or I could tap into anger if I want to. I don't have to let it consume me and make me feel like, if I don't do something about what's frustrating me right now, it's never going to go away. It's one of those things. I'm the kind of person, when I see a problem, I usually try to fix it right then and there. And I don't think that's a good habit to have. I don't think it's necessarily a good characteristics, because I do get a little bit, excited. Still smell that sweet grace in your hair. I'm excited to have kids. My children are First Nations people. They're going to carry on my family name. They're going to carry on, our people's legacy. Our story, like I said, isn't written. And I hope that they are a part of the next chapter, and that they can almost just reflect on everything on our past winter count. The next winter count, I think, is going to be one that's going to make the difference. That's my belief. Kids have the answers. Children have the answers. And the mothers, we got to just give more power to them. The men need to get on board and understand that these women have the knowledge, they have the power, they have the compassion. Everything we get is from Mother Earth. Everything we get when we're babies is from our mothers. And you can see the effects of people who are deprived of that, And so when our mothers are being taken away from us, and our sisters, and there's all these abandoned children, like the effect of that is obviously going to be negative unless somebody else steps in, is what I'm saying. I see more people stepping in and helping, picking up the weight, Still smell that sweet grace, your head. My influences and my beliefs do seep into my music. If I can reach people outside of that circle, they connect to it, and then that brings them in. Now that's bringing people in to ask me, or to listen to what I have to say. And I think the people that are going to be there are the people that are going to want to be there. I'm not imposing myself on anybody. Like, I would much rather people who just want to have an open conversation about things like we are do that. And I can do that with music, in my opinion. I can tell you exactly how I feel about things with music. I'm gonna build me a scaffold to heaven. Pray I don't fall. I ain't got a whole lot of gear, so I used what I found.